time for another Feature Friday. It is Debbie Pace here with you from Blazing Voice. And today I am with Chief Inspiration Officer Tandy. Is it Elisala? Did I say that right?
Perfect.
Oh,
yep,
awesome.
Sure
okay. All of those years of phonetics training worked. Okay. So Tandy, I love the fact that you are on the show today, and I would really love for other people to know more about you. One of the things I really like to do is ask people what makes them a trailblazing leader. So I'm going to shoot it right back over to you and ask you, Tandy, what makes you a trailblazing leader?
Gosh, Debbie, that's a fabulous question. So I think the things that make me a trailblazing leader are my resilience. You know, I have kicked cancer's butt 4 times. 4 times. That's huge in and of itself, you know, for me to even be here is huge. So my resilience in bouncing back from difficult situations, whether it be cancer or, you know, divorce or, you know, domestic violence or death, whatever. And so that's one thing. The second thing I've been doing 30 years in the leadership arena. I spent 25 years in corporate America, in higher education administration, and served as executive leadership roles there. I helped the University of Phoenix grow from 13,000 students to almost 500,000 students, and led teams of thousands of people. And I taught for 10 years in the fields of human resources and leadership and strategic planning. And I'm a kick-ass mom, Debbie. Like, I got 3 kids. They're 28, 24, and 21 now. And they just bring me so much joy still every single day.
Wow.
So I think those are the big things that, yeah.
So just in life, you're a badass trailblazer. I love it. I love it. Your signal is breaking up a little bit, so I might ask you to repeat some stuff. Understand that you're on the road right now, and so it can always be a little bit challenging to get a good signal while you're on the road. I'm just gonna jump right into it. If you're here with us, say hello. Please let us know you're here. I see that we have some viewers, so say hi. And if you have any questions for Tandy, please feel free to ask them. If you're watching the replay, you can always drop them in the link as well, or drop them in the thread. Yep. And Tandy will monitor it. I'll monitor it. We'll make sure that Tandy gets to answer your questions. So please feel free to drop them in the link today. So Tandy, I can't even imagine beating cancer once, much less numerous times. What was it? You talked about resilience and tenacity. They're obviously huge components of anyone who has staying power online or in any component in life, really. But can you talk a little bit more about what it took for you to keep pushing forward, to get beyond those, beyond those challenges and keep playing at a high level? Because you still do.
Yes, absolutely. So, this is deep stuff because, there were days, the 4th time I had cancer, it was stage 4, was much more extensive, needed intense, surgery, radiation, and chemo treatments. And there were days that I thought I was going to die, literally. Mm-hmm. And there were days that I wanted to die. And I really had to dig deep, dig really deep, and gratitude has always been like a strong foundation for me. Mm-hmm. And some days that didn't work either, but what I did was I reached deep down and I had to trust. I had to have faith, and I stayed connected to my higher purpose and my legacy that I wanted to leave. And here's the thing, Debbie, at the end of our lives, people are going to measure our life in one sentence. So I like to tell legacy leaders, rock star leaders, trailblazing leaders, to pick that sentence now. Pick it now. How do you want to be remembered? And as I reflected on that question that I have asked so many people over the years, I asked that of myself. And I said, Tandy, what do you want to be remembered for? What is your sentence? And I didn't want my sentence, both literally and figuratively, to be cancer. I didn't want it to be, she left the world too soon, cancer took another person, yada, yada, yada. I wanted it to be, cancer was just one part of my story. Cancer helped me to be even stronger and wiser and a stronger leader in life and in business. And cancer helped me help other people give hope, to other people that are going through difficult times. And to recognize that we all have the power within to be, do, and have anything that we want. And so knowing, like, Debbie, there's this, like, I knew, and I felt and believed that I was here to inspire millions of people. That is what I am here to do. And knowing that, I had faith that I was going to get through it. I just had faith that I was going to get through it.
That is huge. That's huge. I'm hearing
connected to my legacy.
Yeah, I'm hearing trust and faith. I mean, those seem like they're some pretty huge words, and probably words that a lot of people have some issues with, because let's face it, a lot of online entrepreneurs, just in general, when you have stuff that doesn't sell, you start to question it. You start to think, well, maybe this isn't my calling. Maybe this isn't my purpose. Maybe I really need to be doing something else. And I think that is such an important piece that you talked about, and how difficult it must have been for you when here you have so many things stacking against you, and all you can do is just have this blind faith. What did you do? Where did that come from for you? Oh, I want to recognize that Brittany is on here, by the way. Hello, Brittany. How are you?
Hey, Brittany.
And she said she loved what you said, and it looks like this is her one sentence. So if I'm right, Brittany, this is your sentence, right? So she said she lived the life she worked hard for and died being her most truest and happiest self. So it looks like you've inspired Brittany a little bit. Yes, it's awesome, because how much more really could you really want in this world, right? It's really about playing fully out, right? Playing fully out in life and putting your best foot forward, being the best that you can. And also, for me, I would definitely add that she empowered others to also be their highest selves. And I think that everybody's sentence is different, but for me personally, I would add that. So, and Mark says, hi, Mark, from the other room. Mark says, pure wisdom, love it. It's my big supporter.
Hey,
so.
Mark. Yeah.
So Tandy, I would love to have people know a little bit more about how you help CEOs and other entrepreneurs. What is your secret sauce? If you could put it maybe in like 30 seconds to a minute, how do you truly, truly help people get from point A to B? First of all, what is A to B, and how do you help them do that?
Yeah, you bet. So I help women entrepreneurs and a few smart men to rise above their circumstances, rise above their mindset, the limiting beliefs, the blocks that are holding them back from having their dream life, and lead their business like a rock star CEO without the overwhelm. So I take entrepreneurs through basically the life cycle of going from solopreneur to 7 figures and beyond, to having a world-class team, and every step of the way, how to know when to hire, who to hire, how to hire, because a lot of people, entrepreneurs, don't have necessarily a leadership background and have maybe never interviewed before, and they didn't really think about, oh my gosh, that hiring thing, or the support that I'm going to need, to really grow and scale. Because you can't create a legacy if you're just doing it yourself.
Right. Yeah. And the questions we ask in life and the questions we have to answer are so important. And I think that I'm so glad that you brought that up, because one of the things I do, obviously, is talk to people about how to interview. And it goes beyond just being on something like a Be Live program or even a podcast, a show. It's really about in life overall, are you asking the right questions? And there needs to be so much clarity around where you want to go. So if you're resistant, like to a VA, to hiring, if you're resistant to letting things go so that you can scale up as an entrepreneur, then you might not be asking the right questions. And so I think that a lot of people find themselves continuously stuck, or maybe not hiring the right people. And so then they'll tell themselves, well, maybe I'm just not meant to hire somebody right now. Uh-oh. I think we're frozen. I think I lost Tandy. I think I lost her. Oh no. It says I'm still live though. Am I still with you? I'm not sure if I'm still with you or not. That's so funny. So I think you can still hear me, but I think you can still hear me. Yep. So Tandy dropped off. I'm going to make sure I remember Be Live is in beta testing. So we have to be, we have to be patient and just remember that it's still in beta. So yeah, I'm getting the same thing, that the video is going to resume, but I'm still here, guys. I'm over here in Be Live window waiting for Tandy to come back on. So maybe she'll join us. I'm hoping that she does. Let me just give her a little message. Hop back on. Do you guys have any questions for her? Oh, she says she's having trouble. So do you have any questions for Tandy? Oh, hey, at least I'm back. Look, I love beta testing. If any of you have ever done any training under the Tony Robbins scale of training, one of the things he talks about are the needs. And we have this great need for certainty, but we also have a need for uncertainty. So when you do something like Be Live, it's kind of funny because all certainty is totally removed. Every single week, I'll restart my computer and I've tested all the things and everything's working, and then I get the guest on and then they can't hear me and my mic's not working, or theirs isn't working, or the signal's not right, or somebody has forgotten to quit. It's just so funny how doing something like this really forces you to grow, really, really grow. So I would love, for those of you who are on, can you tell me any time in your life where you've kind of been forced into something? I mean, I have plenty of stories like that, so I'll share them with you. But was there any time where you were forced to grow, forced to kind of push the envelope a little bit or a lot outside your comfort zone? And how did that work out for you? Do you have an instance like that? I would love to hear it. So as we wait for Tandy to get back on, and hopefully she'll get back on. If not, we'll just have a chat. Not a big deal. I'll talk to you all day. So Tandy's still talking to me, so she froze. Let me just invite her to come. Like, come back. Where did you go? We miss you, Tandy.
Yay!
Okay. All right, great. So I've been sitting here talking to everybody and telling them, all right, so I don't yet see you. There we go. All right. You're on. Perfect. Everybody, Tandy's back. Woohoo! Yay! So I asked everyone if there was ever a moment, I talked a little bit about Be Live and about how when you do something that is in beta testing, it is very challenging and it really messes with the human need for certainty because there is no certainty when you are running something that is in testing. So, but it's really cool to be at the forefront of technology because I am such a technology geek. I mean, seriously, I am such a technology geek. I just love learning new things. I love expanding the things that we're able to do, the reach that we're able to have, and the ability to get their message out. So I asked people, and I see Brittany has replied here. So Britt, I'm gonna. Oh wow! All right, so Brittany she's leveling up her entire business. Woohoo! Who isn't, right? I'm in the process of doing the same thing, a massive revamp, and there are going to be changes. Yeah, there's going to be massive changes in Trailblazing Leaders, which the name itself may likely be changing. So I'm doing a whole bunch of different things, and it's just, I think 2017 is the year of alignment. It's the year of really doing things that put us into our growth, that really help us get to that point of, when you ask the universe or you ask God for things and you say, please guide me. Well, they're going to guide you. So you have to be ready to accept the gifts. And that means a whole lot of uncertainty. So Britt, let us know how we can help and support you. So I think that's a great question for you too, Tandy. Aside from what you've obviously been through and everything that you've told us on this call, what would you say? Give us a great example of how you were challenged and pushed into uncertainty, let's say in business, because let's talk about that. We know you're a rock star just by everything that you've been through, but let's talk about business. Was there something that you were forced to do or a way that you were forced to grow or go that ultimately benefited you so much, but you were totally resistant to it at first?
Yes. Yes. I think, one simple example, I have a ton of examples, but one example would be, getting on video, live video. That seems like a small thing, but I'll tell you, when I first became an entrepreneur, and let me tell you, in the corporate world, I, spoke on stages of thousands. I love it. It doesn't bother me at all. And I recorded videos, but as an entrepreneur, it was a whole different thing. And for some reason, I didn't like doing video. And for years, I didn't, because I didn't like how I looked on video. I was like, oh, I'm too fat. I have that second chin. Oh, this, oh, that, oh, blah, 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 blah. All those little things that tell us, right? That little And I finally just said, I'm just going to do it. F what other people think. I don't care. And I'm just going to share my message. And so I think I've got 100 and something videos now on YouTube.
Wow.
And, I do videos, I probably average 3 or 4 videos a week on various areas in social media. So that is one thing. And, you just have to push through. And one thing that I have learned is that there's no such thing as perfection. There is only imperfect action. And it is only through taking imperfect action that we progress, that we get better, that we can then make improvements, to what it is that we do. Right now, I'm not in an ideal situation, right? I'm in a hotel. There's people in the back.
Your signal's really breaking up. There's that, because now I can't hear you.
All the stuff that, I know, yet it's about showing up. Mm-hmm. It's about showing up.
Yeah, it's imperfect action. Imperfect action is a thing that I talk to people about all the time. And I think that is one of the key points of people being afraid to be visible is, well, my hair is not perfect. Seriously, I'm not even going to mention what's going on with me right now, because if I do, it's going to bring attention to it. And I don't want to do that. But let's just say physically there are things going on that I'm like, I can't go on video. But, you do what you have to do. things are imperfect all the time, but you're not going to move forward if you're always waiting for that perfect time. I would love for you, Tandy, to drop your YouTube link in the thread here once we get off the feed, because I would love for everyone to have an opportunity to watch some of your videos. I'm sure, the Be Live, because it's beta testing, we do the best that we can. It's really a matter of giving you an opportunity to talk to everyone and have them talk to you and get to know each other better. And so, yeah, like Brittany says, just do it, right? Just doing it. So just the process of getting live, of being visible, of taking the action. All right, you're breaking up again. I'm so sorry. We're having some difficulty here. But just the process of doing it. So people are going to learn more about you just because you showed up, whether it was a perfect situation or not. It's still an opportunity to expand your business, to expand your reach, and to learn more about other people. And obviously we learn too, because as people are asking questions, we're understanding for our businesses and things, how we can step up and help people in our environment too. So we don't know a person might be struggling with X, Y, or Z, or that maybe 30 people in our groups are struggling with it if nobody's stepping up and we're not coming here and asking them to show up and doing that by being role models ourselves and showing up. So how would you say that you are a role model for other entrepreneurs and CEOs in your business?
Okay, so I missed the very first part of that. How can what?
How would you say that you are a role model? How would you say that you are sort of clearing the path for other entrepreneurs by how you show up in your business, or whatever it is that like, if there's something that you feel specifically makes you a role model, what would that be?
I think the first is what we just talked about, not showing up. It's showing up. The second is, and something I'm getting much better at, and I know I'm leading the way with, and that is really expanding my vulnerability and sharing from the heart. And, I really have stretched myself, especially this last month to 2 months, of sharing things that I've never told anybody in my life before. And I just went on live and shared it. And I got such great response, and I got such amazing feedback from other women that, hey, oh my gosh, thank you. You have encouraged me to look at my fears and face them and to share. I think trusting, having faith, trusting in myself, in others, in life, and in God, source, universe, energy, whatever you want to call it. I also think, leaders are learners, and I'm a huge learner, and I love sharing what I've
Amen.
learned. And yes. And I take imperfect action, and I am learning more and more, to follow my heart, to follow that, and to really connect the head and heart together. And I think that's really important. And I talk a lot about legacy and being a legacy leader, and what does that look like? And I'm doing things that demonstrate that I am leading that life, that I am, living my core values, because that's the other thing, I think, Debbie, that can keep us playing small and keep us from building our empires, and building a world-class support system, is not being very clear about our core values. Yeah. And it might not sound sexy, but it's really, really important. And how we connect with others, and in how, we show up.
What would you say would be one thing that if someone wanted to work with you, they would be able to gain from you? Just if someone was looking for sort of a one word or one phrase of why Tandy over anybody else, what would that be?
Because I am a mix of spiritual woo-woo with a 5-point business plan, and I have spent my life dedicated to helping lift others and raise their greatness.
Woo, that's awesome. That is so awesome. So awesome. I'm really excited. I'm glad that you were able to get on here today. Can you tell people where they can find you?
Yes, me too.
I'm sorry. Did
Yes,
you hear?
absolutely.
Okay. I think there's a delay in the signal.
Where can people find me?
Yes, please.
I think so too. I heard your voice ended, but it was still, you were still talking. So I was like waiting to see if you were saying anything else. So yes, you can catch me on in my Facebook group. Love to invite you to my Facebook group. I've got a Womenpreneur Leadership Rockstars group. And just pull up, Womenpreneur Leadership Rockstars. I can put the link when we're done. And that's a great place. I'm there all the time. Love that. My website is my name, so TandyElisala.com. Or you can also get there by centerforinspiringgreatness.com if that's easier to remember. I am in the process of revamping my website in production, right? So it doesn't fully reflect my shift, with everything that I'm doing yet. And
it's a process. So
I do have a freebie.
That's that's exactly what I was going to ask. What do you have that's really hot right now that you think if someone takes one action, what would it be? Tell us about it.
Gosh, there's so many. So I have a new freebie that I have created for women, for leaders, and it is called the 5 Tips for Hiring the.
Can you say that again? You're totally breaking up. You're breaking up. Can you say that again, Tandy?
Yes, it's 5 ways to hire the virtual assistant, or 5 tips for hiring the perfect virtual assistant. Yeah, and it really just walks you through that whole process, because that could be, the VA is usually the first hire, that we make, and can be really intimidating. So I try to break it down for everybody and give tips for that. So I'm still actually in the process. The website's not up yet. I've been having some technical challenges, but I'll let everybody know when that is, when that's available. But I have a lot of resources in my Facebook group too. I've got 13 mindset blocks that are common for entrepreneurs, and I've got tips for each one of those 13 blocks. I've got a worksheet about 21 signs you may not trust yourself, because trusting ourselves is the first key.
Yes.
Yeah. And I've got some self-care stuff and a whole bunch of other goodies over there.
Great. So can you come back in once we're done and drop the link to your group and I guess the link to your freebie? If I think not to overwhelm everybody. So if you could choose 2, it sounds like it would be the freebie and the group. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Awesome. Tandy, thank you so much for coming on today. I hope wherever you're going, you get there safely and have an amazing weekend and a great, it's a holiday weekend. So hopefully you're doing something fun and we'll look for you in the group again. If anyone has questions, please feel free to drop them in the thread. Tandy will come back in periodically, I'm sure, throughout the weekend and answer your questions.
Yes.
All right. Well, have a great day.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Go and blaze the path, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.
Yes. Awesome. Take care. Bye.